Hey guys, it's Bella, the Maker Mama Boss Lady behind Bella's Custom Crochets, and this is my podcast, Seasonal Allergy Edition. I think we're on episode 11. Today is May 26, 2020. I actually know the date for the first time in like 3 months because today is our 8-year wedding anniversary. But yeah, still home, still locked down, still doing the stuff you guys are doing, we know. So we're just gonna skip over all of that and get into some crochet and some knitting and a whole lot of my eyeballs itching. So yeah, no makeup because the allergies are real. The pollen count, I don't know if it's a combination of the pollen being really bad this year, which doesn't seem to be the case because normally my husband is also miserable from allergies and he seems to be doing okay. My daughter's only sneezing a little bit, but I am like dying. So I don't know if my guess is because I've been outside a lot more this year than I have in years past when I was like working full-time indoors. So yeah, we've been outside a ton. And then the only other place that I'm going is inside my house where I am allergic to my 2 cats. All of the time, but particularly in the spring when they're shedding. So yeah, I have just like rubbed all, I know you're not supposed to rub your eyes, but I have like rubbed all the skin off around my eyeballs. Congestion and nose are doing pretty okay. Throat's a little iffy. It's definitely the allergies. There's a plane going over if you can hear it. Too bad. So yeah, I have some stuff to talk to you about today. We can start with welcome. If you are new, thanks for stopping by. Please enjoy your stay. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, that's about it. All the links to anything I talk about, I swear, one time I will nail down this intro. It varies every single time. We're 11 episodes in. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. But yeah, anything that I talk about, I will link down below for you and try and provide really good, I guess, show notes in the down bar. And you can find all the links to my website, my blog, the Ravelry group, and Instagram, and basically any place you need to find me. It's going to be linked down below for you. I don't want this one to be too long because I am just suffering misery, and it's my anniversary. And my husband's playing outside with my baby on a new splash pad thing. So I kind of want to go play outside with my kid. So I'm going to talk to you quick. I say that, and it will be exactly 50 minutes. Again, as always. Anyhow, what I am wearing. This is my Serenity and Shiloh shawl. We're not going to talk about it too much because I've talked about it in previous episodes. Linkety links. And there should be, hopefully, next week, if all goes according to plan, it's supposed to be releasing June 5th, but it's still with my tech editor right now. It's been tested. You're not getting the full effect, but it's wrapped around twice. It's huge. You'll see more when I put up the pattern drop video, so I'm not going to talk about it in depth here, but it is a massive, I think it's about 90 inches wingspan, fingering weight, stripey, all sorts of stripey motifs going on in here. Shawl that's worked from end to end. And it's marvelous, and I love it. And it took some doing to get it done. I think I have all my stuff in this basket, but it's always hard to access. Originally, I had 147 ends, but I ended up having to make some changes after testing, when my testers were like, that doesn't match what's on paper. So we had to fix that. So I ended up having to cut into my finished shawl frog parts, and now I have even more ends. I think I'm going to do a giveaway when the pattern releases. Guess how many ends are in the jar? It's a lot. It's very a lot. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of them after this, but you know, for the sake of the photo, it's a lot of ends. So yeah, Serenity and Shiloh shawl, fingering weight, probably advanced beginner level. But again, we'll talk about that in the pattern drop. You can stay tuned. Probably next week, maybe the week after, but early June. So that's that. And then also, we've talked about it before, so I'm not going to talk about it a ton now. Probably going to wear it later, but didn't want to get it wet on the splash pad. But the Fandeco tee is in testing right now. I have, I think, 17 testers, a whole bunch, sizes extra small, 4XL. It's the DK weight cotton. And again, I've talked about it in the last couple episodes, so we won't go over it too much, but it's in testing now, and the goal is to have it out by July. So yeah, it's got this fun little Fandeco motif panel in the back. Business in the front, party in the back, we're calling it. You know, it's a mullet of t-shirts. So yeah, I'm probably going to wear this later for a quarantine anniversary is weird. I think we're going to go get some takeout and maybe do a picnic. But I'm not really a fan of some restaurants are open here now, only for outdoor dining. But it doesn't just really seem, it's not the same atmosphere when people are wearing, you know, masks and gloves. And you're worried about everyone breathing on you, and everyone's being weird and suspicious of you sneezing uncontrollably because you have seasonal allergies. So I think we're going to get takeout and we're going to go eat it in a park somewhere. They've also banned picnicking in state parks. I don't understand what that's about. Who is spreading germs picnicking? You bring your food, you bring your people, you sit on your blanket. You don't mingle. I don't know, man. So yeah, we're doing a social distancing anniversary. But yeah, 8 years is a long time, so that's really exciting. Wish we could celebrate. We were supposed to like go away for the weekend, and I think we've had several excursions canceled, but I think we were going to be in New Hampshire. I forget where we were going, but there was a yarn festival somewhere that we were going to go to on Sunday, and then we were going to go away as a family for the weekend, and we are here. So that's fine. I've kind of had a down week. I'm kind of roller coastering on this whole thing, which is I'm sure a lot of you are. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm talking about it. Yeah, it's kind of been a down week just because they've like released all the regulations for summer right now, at least through the end of June, and I'm bummed about beaches, and I'm bummed about, and we can still go to parks and stuff. I don't know. Summer's just looking full. But we have a beautiful yard. My kid is totally happy. I've been doing lots of hikes and bike rides, and now we have this splash pad pool thing, and she's having a glorious time. So I'm trying to have a glorious time and not think about the things that I wanted to be doing with her, and just try and enjoy the moments that I am having and make the memories. So I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. Moving right along. I don't have a ton of really any, I do have stuff to show you, but not a ton. Because I've been in the process of getting that shawl ready for tech editing. And then with the tea and testing, I haven't wanted to start. I really want to start a new design, but I haven't because I want to make sure I get the math in control for the fan deco before I start more math. I have, you can't see it, but I have, what are you? Some shibui that I got a sweater quantity of that I want to do a really big boxy, this is boxy, fall design for a pullover. So that will be coming. You'll be seeing that soon. But yeah, I need to get the fan deco under control. I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. I feel like I'm cruising right along here. I've been recording at night. It's morning now, obviously, based on the fact my daughter's playing on a splash pad. My husband took the day off, so that's why he's out playing with her. But yeah, I thought I would be more quality, less rambly. I don't know if I recorded in the morning, but all the rambles still, guys. It's just my state of mind now. Not that I wasn't rambly before. But yeah. I'm going to just keep saying but yeah, and we're just going to keep coasting right along. So the next thing that I have made, or crocheted, a finished object, is this sweater. This is okay, so it started out, this person I can find no social media presence for, and I'm not sure if you can find the patterns on Ravelry separately, but Sue Whiting, and the book is called Easy to Crochet Cute Clothes for Kids. And that's a mouthful. I got it secondhand at a secondhand bookstore, so I don't know if it's available still or where you can even get it, but I think I found it on Amazon at one point if you wanted to. But this is the Katie. It's sort of the Katie. I have made the Katie, or that's Katie, right? Katie? Katie sweater before. Hopefully I just didn't ruin that by showing you the stitch diagram, but I don't think you'll figure out the whole sweater, so you're probably fine. But yeah. It is I think it only goes up to 12 month, 18 month. What is the sizing here? The largest size was 12 to 18 months, and I had made the 0 to 3 or 3 to 6 maybe before. And it has been, this is actually the yarn that was left over that I used in this. So this is the one that I made when my daughter was, I think I made it before she was born. but it was super boxy on her. I don't think I gauged. I think it was supposed to be the 3 to 6 month. I don't remember. Babies are tiny. 3 to 6 month, and she literally was wearing this yesterday. It's now like a cropped little, I never know if it's bolero or bolero, or neither. I've heard people from the UK say bolero. My mother says bolero. I don't know if any of those are relevant. But a cute cropped short sleeve cardigan type thing. So she was wearing this yesterday because it still fits her widthwise, and the sleeves are like up here. But yeah, we're gonna wear this to death because it's one of my favorites. But she got so much wear out of that in this lightweight. It's a fingering weight. This one, fingering weight linen cotton something blend. But yeah, I enjoyed that sweater so much. I was like, I'm gonna make another one. But then I realized it only went up to 12 to 18 months. And there's cat fur on there. Such is my life. It's going to be part of the sweater. She's currently approaching 19 months. But she wears at least 2T clothing. She's very tall. So yeah, I didn't want to make a 12 to 18 month. I thought about maybe changing the hook size, but I didn't really want to gauge. So yeah, I kind of hacked the pattern based on I don't need to show you, based on my pattern designing knowledge. I sort of did the math for grading the next size up. So this is essentially probably a 2 to 3, 2T, 3T. So I followed the body pattern based on my math. Why did I say it like that? Followed the body pattern, so it's worked in one piece up until the armpit, or armpit always sounds so unprofessional. The sleeve hole? I don't know. Up until here. And then it's worked back panel and then front panels. So I did that. But then the sleeves were made oh my goodness, we're a mess. The sleeves were made separately, and I was just not feeling that. So I joined and I worked the sleeves in the round, flipping back and forth so I could maintain the worked. Oh my goodness, this hanger was a terrible idea. So I could maintain the stitch pattern because you don't want to work in the round if you've been working back and forth. It'll look different. So I joined in the round and flipped back and forth. The sleeve looks really tiny, but I promise it's not. So yeah, the sleeves are totally different than the pattern. And then I did whatever I wanted for the edging and button band. I don't remember. I think it was supposed to have this picot edging all around it. So you can see in this one. Or maybe I added that. I don't remember. But yeah, so it's a hacked version of that sweater. I didn't take notes because I just wanted a project I didn't have to think about or really do any math on other than the initial math. And then I just went and went and went. I haven't blocked this yet because it is already oversized on her and it's superwash. So I know if I block it, it's going to grow even more. It's not cool enough really to wear this other than in the evenings now. It's about 80 Fahrenheit today, so it's not really cool enough for need of this, but it will fit her on cool summer nights, as people always say, and definitely into the fall, because it's oversized now. So the reason, my segues, guys, they're just rough. The reason it's this insane, maybe not insane, but not my usual color palette at all. I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually 2 different yarns. I don't think I have the yarns to show you, but I do have the tags. And we can pop in a picture of the yarns that were there in cake or skein form. So last year I was naturally dyeing yarn, and I'll show you the tag, but it's just my own handwriting. So I was naturally dyeing, and I did some fun combinations with turmeric and pokeberries. Pokeberry pulls like a purple color, and turmeric is yellow. And in combination of that, which one's mine? This one's mine. The one with less orange is mine. The pink and peach and yellow one is mine. So I was calling that colorway Red Sky at Night, and I had only one skein of it in 75-25 superwash merino and nylon, and I think it was just Knit Picks yarn. It's not my favorite base. It's like a 3-ply. I didn't know 3-ply was a thing. I thought it was 2-ply or 4-ply or single ply. It makes sense, 3-ply. Don't like 3-ply, particularly not for crocheting. It just looks, I don't know, kind of messy maybe. I like a 4-ply. or a single ply, or a high twist 2-ply. I like yarn, guys. But yeah, so I had this one skein, and it was not enough to make her something unless it was like leg warmers or socks. And I was hesitant to make socks with the naturally dyed. I wasn't sure how that would wear for socks, because it was just experimenting. I'm not a yarn dyer. I don't sell yarn. Other than if I have excess of the naturally dyed or dyeing experiments, I sometimes sell yarn, but not a yarn dyer. Don't know what I'm doing. So I had this one skein. So it's this, I don't know if you can tell up close, but this one is mine, and then I'll tell you about the second one. But this one's a 3-ply and that one's a 4-ply, and it looks slightly different in texture, but I think it's okay. It's just for my daughter. Normally you don't mix plies, but I don't follow rules, so whatever. I just have the tag. So the second one I had purchased somebody from D-Stash, and it is a Knitology, which I couldn't find on Instagram. It's Knitology by Knit Crate, so I don't think they have their own. All Knitology yarns are made exclusively for Knit Crate. So there you go. So I tagged Knit Crate on the Instagram. But this was Citrus Squeeze. It was part of a Knit Crate subscription. I don't get Knit Crate subscriptions. I'm very hesitant on subscription yarns because I don't want to end up with yarn I don't like. So somebody was de-stashing this because it wasn't their cup of tea, and I was like, wow, that is really similar in color to the one that I dyed. Oh, this has cashmere in it. Maybe that's why it's a little bit different. 75 superwash, 15 nylon, 10% cashmere. So yeah, that's fancy for a baby. So I grabbed that one skein from somebody's de-stash for like $12 or something. And yeah, I just alternated. I wanted to alternate, like, do like helical type thing, but because it was a cardigan, I wasn't working in the round. So I ended up with lots of ends because I did every 4 rows of mine, 4 rows of the Knitology, 4 rows of mine. So I alternated every 4 rows and ended up with a bajillion ends, but after doing this shawl, I was like, whatever, I can handle all of the ends, guys, no problem. So yeah. Title of this podcast, so yeah. So yeah, there's cat hair on everything. I told you, they're shedding everywhere. So this is really cute on her. Haven't gotten a picture of her in it yet, but maybe I will put one in if I have one. Might be too sweaty to put her in it, but it's adorable. I do like this cardigan pattern, if you can find the book. It's very, I don't know, I think a lacy cardigan is a great throw-over piece, and it's cute on the babe. And yeah, I used up my hand dyed, and it's a fun color combo. I never know where to look when drinking up the tea. So that, oh, I always say it's the end of the crocheting. It's not. We have the lockdown blanket to talk about, you guys. I think I'm supposed to start another color today. Yeah, Tuesday. I literally have no idea what concept of time is anymore. I was supposed to be doing one of these every day. It's turned out that I've been doing them like weekly. But I'm all caught up on sewing and ends other than this last week. So that's good. But we've talked about this in previous podcasts, so I'm not going to talk about it too much more. I'm just going to keep showing it to you every time. It is growing. I've kind of lost steam for it. I think probably because I've realized at this point it is going to be large based on current lockdown circumstances. My stuff is starting, I don't know when I'm going to like hard stop it. Like when they're like, no masks, be free, do whatever you want. I haven't decided yet because I feel like this is going to go on for a good long while. And as of right now, there's like, everybody has like a 4-phase plan and we're on like phase 2 or something. And nobody knows the dates of the other phases because they're based, I don't know. I'm sure you're all in the same boat, so you know how it goes. So yeah, I don't know when this is going to end. Originally, I was like, I don't know if it's going to be big enough to be a blanket, because hoping we were going to do this for like a month or 2. It's been 2 months and there's no end in sight. But I'm going to end up with a glorious, happy colored blanket. I've reached the point, though, in my stash, because I'm trying to only work out of my acrylic stash and get rid of acrylic, because I don't want to buy more of it. I've reached the point where some colors I haven't had enough of one color to do 7 days, so I've been throwing in like random bits, and I feel like it's going to get continuously more scrappy. Like this yellow from this week is 2 different yellows. I don't know if you can tell. 2 yellows. So I'm trying to alternate like weeks where I have enough to do a solid color with some scrappier ones. But as we keep digging into the stash here, it's going to keep getting scrappier and scrappier. It's going to be one interesting blanket, you guys. And I feel like it's going to need an edge or a border or a something, but we don't know how big it's going to be. We'll just keep going. I don't want to quit on it now because it's a useless object. It could be like a table. That's the back. I feel like a table runner or something at this point if we evened out that edge, but yeah, I want it to be a blanket so we can look back and say, look at all these happy colors from that time that we stayed home. It was happier. It was happy. Honestly, we're fine. We're happy. I'm just, like I said, aggravated with the things that I want to do that we can't, but I am so grateful that my toddler is oblivious. And I'm hoping that this will all end while she is still in the oblivious phase and her childhood won't be weird. Dear Jesus, please. So yeah. Doing green next. I think I'm going to use this blue. My blue-green stash is substantial. My purple stash is, I'm wondering like if I should have not done, it's technically, I don't really even know what indigo, like Roy G. Biv, indigo violet. Indigo, like from the plant, is like bright blue. But in like rainbow form, they always show it as like a purple, a dark purple maybe. So I was doing like a dark purple and then a light purple, but I don't know if my stash is going to withstand that, and maybe I should have just done one purple in the rainbow. We'll see. These are big problems, guys. These are big problems. But yeah, I have lots of blues and greens, and then I have a lot of mustard scraps, but not large ones, because I use a lot of mustard yarn. I think I've used all the red. I don't know. It's going to get weird. It's going to get weird, you guys. It seemed like a good plan, but might not be a good plan at all. If you want to know more about the pattern and whatnot, you can go back to the last couple episodes. I'm not going to talk about it every time because who wants to hear that? So that's the crochet content. I do have some knit content and some other content. I need to sip some tea. Because as you know, when you don't talk to people for all of the days, you get thirsty talking to yourself. Looking at my notes. What's up next? I don't remember where I left off. I don't even know if I have tags for this yarn. I try and be organized, but sometimes I do not be organized. Yep, we don't have tags for this one. That's okay. They're not indie dyed. I haven't sewed in the ends yet, but these I am so happy with. I'm pretty sure I wasn't finished with them last time. If I already talked about them in completion, I apologize. But I am so happy with these. This I just alternated. The rainbow is Lion Brand Mani Petty in the color Crew. So it's a self-striping. And I alternated it with, what did I do? 2 stripes of the Lion Brand and then 1 stripe of this gray Patton's Croy. I don't know what the color was, but it's solid gray Patton's Croy. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that. It's a vanilla sock. Slip stitch heel. One day I'm going to be able to tell you, I think it's a rounded toe. Rounded toe? I don't know. Somewhere along the lines, I realized, I think in this sock, that I have been doing, slip, slip, knit. I was slipping wrong. I was like twisted rib. Ooh, we had a solo, so that hole, that's a problem. I was doing slip, slip, knits wrong. I think on my last pair of socks, but I think I fixed it on this sock. Maybe. I was doing like a twisted, weird one. But I liked it anyway. 1 by 1, twisted rib cuff. I think this was 56 stitches on, I think I did US size ones. My gauge was a little different because Patton's Croy is a thicker yarn. But yeah, super happy with these. I love rainbow, as we have established, and yeah, another pair of socks for my collection. I had initially said this year that I was hoping to do maybe like 4 pairs of socks. I think I'm already on 6. So I might as well go for the whole box of socks thing. I don't know if it has to be box of socks, Cal. Used to be run by Vollenvine, I think. Now somebody else is running it. And I know you're supposed to do a pair of socks monthly, but can you still enter the Cal if you end up with 12 pairs of socks at the end of the year? Comment below. Because I feel like, yeah, I haven't been doing monthly socks, but I've been doing socks. So what's May? May is the 5th month, and I already have 6 pairs. We ahead of the game. It's almost June. Anyway. Alright, so I have another pair of socks started. These, I think I have tags for. Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta grab another tag out of here. Are you the right one? Oh yeah, you are. I'm so good at stuff, guys. So these are the Rye Light socks by Tin Can Knit. Really basic pattern. Tin Can Knits is always very good at laying things out. They always have good diagrams and instructions, and their patterns, I think all of their patterns, I've only made mittens, but I think all of their patterns run like infant to adult man size. So they have the full gamut of sizes. So I don't know if you can see, but there is a little, it's not quite garter because you alternate a knit row and a purl row. Is that reverse stockinette? No. What do you call that? Knitting and purling in the round. I don't know. This thing in the front, and then the back is just stockinette. Look at how fun that micro striping is. So that's all I have on this sock. I've only been working on it a teensy bit, but I really like the way it's working up. I think I had showed you this yarn before. Look how magical it is in cake formation. Holy sweet moly. It's plaid, you guys. It's not showing up as good because I've used some of the yarn. It was super plaid-y when I started the cake. But this is Classic Sock by Megs & Co. And it is her I Could Live in Hope colorway. Meg was one of my testers. She first came on my radar last year. She made my Dandelion Dance shawl in her own dyed yarn, but she was just one of my testers for the Serenity in Shiloh as well. And yeah, she makes gorgeous yarn. So we're talking up a collab in the future. We'll see. Yeah, it's a 4-ply sock yarn, fingering, obviously, 460 yards, dyed in Fairport, New York, 75.25. I don't know if I Could Live in Hope is in reference to something in particular, but it's gorgeous. And we all could use a little extra hope right now. So I thought it was an appropriate colorway to make some socks out of. And then the contrasting orange is left over from my last pair of socks. This is is that right side up? Yeah. Kitty Pride Fibers. And it was a one-of-a-kind 50-gram orange situation. So, I'll keep this in here because I might need to talk about it again. Trying to be organized. So I'm working on those intermittently, and I have one more project to show you that has been taking up my knit attention. I don't know if you guys saw last week, we put up a, this ties in, I promise, a Fiber Friends tag challenge, whatever. Me interviewing my husband on what he really thinks about the fiber arts and my crochet career and whatnot. So that I will tag for you. That's my tag and dance. And in that, there was some question about, what do I crochet the most of or something? And he was like, you've been knitting a lot, honestly. And I was like, yeah, I have. No offense to crochet. Definitely haven't fallen out of love with crochet. Still 100% Bella's Custom Crochets. That is my passion, my hobby, and my job. But just my brain space with the shawl, especially because some of it needed to be reworked. The shawl and then the math for the Fandeco. It's the first time I've done a pullover, so that was a whole different level of math for me. I think it's all right. We'll see. It's in testing. They're getting their yarns. So hopefully this week things will start working out math-wise. But yeah, I just didn't have space in my head for any extra crochet other than like the sweater. I was like, I can follow somebody else's pattern fine right now. And then like the lockdown blanket is as mindless can be. I am still messing it up in places, but whatever. So the lockdown blanket is my ongoing whip, and then I'm just going to do some little itsy bitsy things in between because my brain needs a break. So knitting, I was like, I'm going to knit socks. That's a good break. And then I saw Tiff Nealon of, I believe it's Tiff Nealon Knits. No, Tiff Nealon Hand Knits. Another Connecticut designer, Tiff. posted, she's like, I feel like her signature is like things with herringbone stitch. I don't know if you follow her. If not, you should. She's an amazing designer. A lot of her patterns are not my aesthetic. I feel like she's done a lot of cropped sweaters and tighter fitting sweaters, and I'm just all about the oversized, bulky, not bulky, but boxy, oversized, tunicky. That's my jam. But she does a lot with the herringbone stitch. And I have like a cowl pattern from her, and it's just hats and that sort of thing. All about putting the herringbone in everywhere. So she posted a summertime t-shirt fingering weight design. Drop a picture. Called the Beachcomber. And I was like, you know what? I think I could test that. I hesitate to commit to like fingering weight sweater tests usually because I'm like, I have my own designs and that's a huge commitment. But this was like a month-ish long and it's a t-shirt. And I'm like, I got that. I can do that. It's mostly stockinette, a little bit of herringbone on the bottom. I can do that. And the way she does her tester calls is in her Ravelry group where she puts like the information in and she's like, message me if you want to test. So I did that and I was like, I have tested baby garments before. This would be my first adult size garment test, just so you know. But I think I could do it. So I committed to it. And disclaimer, this is nothing against Tiff. This is completely my own issues. I have overcomplicated this pattern test. Okay, so let me show you the yarn, because the yarn's lovely. Let me show you the yarn, and let me find the tag for the yarn. Where are you? Okay, speaking of indigo. Okay, so after I saw the Beachcomber, and I did a little search in my stash, I didn't have anything that I wanted to use for a summer weight tee. I was like, I'd really like to use something linen, having just finished, this is linen. I really like linen. So I was like, I'd really like to find a linen, maybe a linen cotton blend. So I was looking on Etsy and I stumbled across Sassy Black Yarns is her name. And then looking at her Etsy shop, I realized she's like, I don't know her exact address, but 20 or so minutes away from me. She's a Connecticut dyer. I had never heard of her before. I try to follow any Connecticut dyers on Instagram that I can find. I had somehow missed her completely. So I found her on Etsy, not even looking for Connecticut dyers. So that was exciting. And I got from her 3 of these. That's the info there. It's called Indigo Nights. And fingering weight, Pima cotton, and linen blend, or linen Pima cotton, I should say. Really beautiful. I don't know the exact rules on dyeing of linens and cottons and plant-based fibers, but I know it's different. Animal fibers you dye with natural or with acid dyes usually, and the natural dyes can kind of depend. But I know that to dye plant fibers, it's like cold process dyeing or something, and they're alkaline instead of acid, I think. I don't really know. This is based on my limited knowledge of the matter. So the dye process is different. My husband just walked through a bush outside. I think he was turning off the hose. Weirded me out for a minute. Thought there was an intruder. Who's going to intrude in a quarantine? So I got these. I love them. They're beautiful. I have crocheted with linen before, a lot. It's my first time knitting with linen, which has proved to be a conundrum because my gauge keeps changing. We'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, we have our Sassy Black yarns. Love them. So then I made my gauge swatch, like a good little pattern tester. There was 2 gauge swatches. There's one for stockinette. Let me grab it out of here. One for stockinette and one for the herringbone. And initially, when Tiff told me that I was going to be testing, I'm sorry, this story is all sorts of convoluted. When Tiff said, yeah, you can be testing, I'm going to send out the pattern in a couple days, I was like, okay, I'm going to get a jump start. I'm going to learn how to do this herringbone thing. Because I knew it wasn't super complicated, but I figured if I watched a couple videos, I would be a step ahead. So I didn't want to fall behind the other testers because I'm not the best knitter. So I pulled up on YouTube how to do the herringbone knit stitch, thinking that that was a great idea. And what I found, I had another swatch initially. I was working in DK weight on some different needles just to kind of get the idea at first. And in talking to Tiff, she said that part of the pattern was herringbone in the round and part of the pattern was herringbone worked flat. So I was like, okay, I'll just learn the worked flat version and we'll start with that. So I pulled up, it was a Wool in the Gang tutorial. I'll just show you this for now. Pulled up this Wool in the Gang tutorial and just really started wrapping my mind around how to do this herringbone stitch. And I was like, that kind of looks different, but okay, I'm gonna, follow the instructions, follow along. And yeah, at one point I messaged Tiff and I was like, how do you count these stitches? Because as far as gauge or row count or whatever, I couldn't tell where one stitch began and one stitch ended. Still can't. And she's like, well, what needle size are you using? And she kind of talked me through it. And then when she sent her pattern and I looked at it a little more closely, realized her herringbone stitch, can you see the difference, is a completely different herringbone stitch. So that's like the middle of the swatch where I switched over, but this is the correct, mostly sort of, based on my messy swatch, correct herringbone stitch. So I don't know, this is the one that she always uses. And this is what I was familiar with herringbone stitch being, so I don't know why I didn't recognize this as being, it's not wrong, it's a different one. And I don't know if it has something to do with, I think Wool in the Gang is UK based, European based, if I'm not mistaken. The lady in the video was British. So I don't know if it's a UK thing, if they have a different herringbone stitch. But this one was like involving, if you've done herringbone before, normal herringbone. This herringbone is basically you're either knitting or purling 2 stitches together, but only like halfway, kind of. So you end up like knitting every stitch twice, sort of. But this one, you were like doing something with like knit one, slip one, and then you picked up the slipped one over it, and then you knit into the back of it, and then you dropped it off, and then you like completely different stitch. So it wasn't even a matter of working in the round versus flat, completely different stitch. So I had to switch over, redo that, and then I finally figured out gauge on that herringbone. But I think because I was working, maybe I should have made a larger swatch. I was making the swatch based on the pattern, plus a few extra stitches and rows. Met gauge, blocked it whole thing, but then when I went to do it in the pattern, I either relaxed more or just because it was a larger span or a different, I don't know. My gauge totally changed. So I was in between 2 sizes. Same thing for this is my insane, knitting in the round flat swatches is absolute chaos, and I wish there was a better way to do this. So I did a gauge swatch, a couple different needle sizes. This is a larger one, that's a smaller one. A little chaos. Stockinette, met gauge, blocked, whole thing, met gauge. I was in between 2 sizes on the pattern because it was supposed to be positive ease of, I think, 3 to 7 inches. But I was like, I like things boxy, so I think there's like a 41-inch bust and then a 46-inch bust. And I was like, Tiff, I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. I'm going to do the gauge swatch and kind of see yardage-wise where I'm at. So I cast on for the 46-inch. I'm like a 37, 38-inch bust, so I was like, that's about 8-ish inches of positive ease, which sounded like a good idea based on the fact my friend Deco is about that. And I was like, yeah, that'll be a fit that I'm cool with for summertime tea. Cast that on. Took me 87 tries to cast it on with a long tail cast on, because this is the first time I've cast on a fingering weight garment, and I just vastly estimated the long tail incorrectly. If you are a crocheter and you're not following any of this, I'm sorry, but this is my life. So I cast it on. Cast it on, and it ended up way larger than it was supposed to be, and then I rechecked my gauge. It's obviously not blocked at the moment, and my gauge had completely changed. Much larger. So I ripped this out after like 3-ish days of working on it. Fingering weight yarn, guys, and knitting, it's slow going. But that's okay, because I had a bunch of mistakes in the herringbone, and then like when I changed over from the herringbone needle to the larger needle to the smaller needle, I got these weird gaps, and that was looking messy, and then there's like this ladder detail up the side, and I just made a mess of that. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'll start again. Again, took me, I think, 3 tries, long tail cast on. Because there's something about long tail cast on where you have to guess how much yarn you need to cast on. It was like 200 something stitches. So I needed X amount of yarn to cast on 200 something stitches, estimated, and kept like being off by like 10, 20 stitches, which is just annoying. So then you estimate again, and you pull out more yarn, and you end up with like 75 extra feet of yarn. I don't understand. And I know there's a way to do long tail where you pull from both sides of the ball. I had already had enough issues with this that I was like, doing what I know how to do and I'm not adding in any more things. In the same vein, I was like, I probably should alternate skeins. And then I was like, nope, I can't handle anything more. So I hope these yarns are similar in dyeing. So yeah, now we've cast on for the please don't tell me you're twisted. Don't be twisted. No, you're not twisted. Thank the Lord. So I don't want to start again. So now we're on the 41 inch bust size. Gauge is looking better. I don't know if it's going to change again, just as I get into it. Another issue, usually my gauge is pretty similar if I switch between English and continental. I think on the swatch, I was mostly doing English because it was a small little span. But then as I got into the rhythm with the larger cord size and everything, I think I did switch to continental, and I think that threw the gauge off. And also linen is just a different beast. It doesn't have the same, I don't know, like muscle memory, I guess, as wool yarn. And you can see it's very, ooh, don't you fall off the needle. We cannot afford any more nonsense. I have like 28-ish days to finish this. I'm gonna get it done, Tiff. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, linen is very gappy when you are working with it, and then it kind of plumps up after you block it. I don't know if you can see based on the swatch. My sad, messy swatch. It fills out. It'll be fine. And if it's gappy, it's okay. I'm going to wear a tank top under it either way. But yeah, it's really kind of hard on your hands when you're working with it at first, and then it softens up, and it's going to be lovely. Yeah. I think I'm doing things right now. I really hope so. It's pretty straightforward from here. There's definitely spots where I messed up the herringbone. I tried to rip back and like fix stuff. I don't know if you can see like right there. There's like I dropped something, lost something, added something. I don't know. There were spots that I tried to fix and I couldn't figure out how to tink back herringbone. And I didn't want to rip all the way back and cast on again. So I ended up doing some make one things because I think I lost 2 stitches somewhere. So I ruined some make ones and I was like, okay, we have a stitch count. We're fine. I'm trying to be a good pattern tester, guys. I really am. I appreciate pattern testers so much because they make all my designs happen. But yes, I'm going to make this happen for Tiff. I know she said she had lots of other testers in that medium-ish size range. So she's not like dependent on me, but I am going to follow through, dang it. So yeah, that's my beachcomber. My only other concern with this design, I don't know if you can tell, but when I blocked my swatch, it lost a ton. I don't know if it's going to show up here, but it bled a ton. And I don't know, I don't want to say anything bad about a dyer or the process, or you can see it's a little bit lighter, right? Does it look lighter there? It looks lighter in person, just barely. I feel like the darky, like the deeper bits, like bled out. And I don't know if that's normal for linen. I don't know if it's the dye process of this particular dyer. Because they'd definitely been rinsed after she dyed them because they had a like wool wash smell to them. So I don't know if she didn't rinse it till it was clear or if this is just typical for indie dyed linen cotton. I don't know. But it bled like diluted like Welch's grape juice color. So I saved that exhaust bath, I guess, at that point, because I didn't use a wool wash when I blocked the swatch because I didn't really need lanolin because it's a swatch and it's not wool. But yeah, I saved the dye because I was like, ooh, I can do the Lucky Strikes, like fiber for the people. But I think because it's a different dye type, if I'm not mistaken, it has to be like a cold alkaline thing, so I would need to get a plant-based yarn. I gave away all of my cotton yarn. So I don't know. My other thought was maybe I would try to over dye the whole sweater in the end. But that might vastly just destroy the thing, and I'm gonna have this tea. It's gonna happen. So I need to cake up those other yarns today, and then hopefully we are gonna have a finished thing. It's just every time I decide to knit something for a test, I always kind of overestimate my skill level, and then I'm like, whew, I don't know things. Same thing happened. I tested a hat for White Owl Crochet, and I was like, it's a ribbed hat. How hard can it be? there were some skills in there that I was not prepared to deal with. Again, I figured them out. I watched my videos. I asked my questions. I made it happen. I'm a good tester, but yeah, I was kind of thinking this was going to be an easy, not stress project, and now it's stressing me out because I've messed it up so much. I think it's going to be okay, though. Forgive me, Tiff. I'm trying. So yeah, that's my only other work in progress. And I have some yarn coming in the mail, Fiber for the People. Don't have that yet. I did want to show you one, I guess we can call it a stash position, but it has nothing to do with yarn or crocheting or knitting. But it has to do with small business loving. So let me have a sip of tea and I will show you this one thing. You know, words are hard, guys. You know I'm all about the Connecticut made local, especially now with the whole pandemic thing and everyone's business being in like crisis. But I've always been a huge supporter of shopping local when I can. And I try to share my favorite makers with you guys. Hashtag Block 21 Prints always and forever. But my other favorite maker, I guess you'd call her a maker, she's a soap maker, is, that's her front of her business card, but Jessica of Tree Fort Naturals. Absolute favorite soap maker. And I have tried a lot of soap. My mom used to make soap, so I have high standards of soap. She's out of Connecticut, and absolute, like, look at this spiffy business card. Her branding is amazing. Her Instagram photos, amazing. Her soap is phenomenal. I think I've talked about it here before. I have really high standards of, and I know this isn't for everybody, but this is something I adhere to. All of our beauty products, I make it sound like my husband has a lot of beauty products. Beauty products, cleaning products, home products, all products. I try to be as natural and clean as possible. I am very sensitive to chemical smells, fragrances, and I just, especially now that we have a small child, I am very conscious of things being as close to nature as they possibly can. And my girl Jess, she gets it. She gets it. There's a lot of soap dyers that use fragrances or artificial colors or chemicals I'm not comfortable with, but all of her stuff is neat and tidy. Like, they sell her at Whole Foods here because that's how good she is. So I got some soap from her and I wanted to show you because it, again, wool soap, I would feel comfortable washing yarn in her soap because it is so gentle, but obviously it doesn't have lanolin in it, so it wouldn't be considered a wool wash, but I would, in a pinch, be happy to wash. Let me just show you. I got a gift set because it's prettier. It was like $2 extra, but I wanted to talk her up on the podcast, so $2 extra it is. I didn't open this yet. Doing it now. Again, branding on point. Okay, so I got a soap set. Just needed to restock our soaps. I have converted my husband to bar soaps. So we got 100% natural handcrafted soap made with plant-based oils and butters, herbs, clays, and botanicals, and pure essential oils. Her essential oils are reputable. The dyes and colorings that she uses are natural sources, and she has all of her ingredients on both her website and her soaps, so there's no question as far as what's in things. So she just released a summer, this one's kind of fallen off, but she just released some summer. There's a sad baby out there. Sad baby, what you doing? I need like 10 more minutes, so just put something on her. I'll fix it. My child is hangry. I think the interruption is over. If you hear crying, it's hangry. So we're wrapping up and we're gonna eat lunch. I guess she's done splash padding. But yeah, so got these soaps. She just released some summer ones. Mango tangerine and coconut guava were part of them. Her packages always smell so delicious. I haven't sniffed these yet. That one's delicious. I'm not even sure what a guava smells like normally, but this is a good smelling guava. As you can see, I'm not going to show you all of them, but happy, reputable, clean ingredients. Cruelty-free. Also another thing that I'm very strict on. Mango tangerine. And I've had, this one I got from my husband. Oh yeah, he'll like that one. that one smells like a woodsman. It's a clean woodsman. So I got that one for him. And then grapefruit, bergamot, ginger root. Probably my favorite of the bunch. Usually I get lavender or patchouli one. There's a red clay one I really like. That might be the patchouli one. I like all of them. So I got new soap. That's that. And then I also wanted to show you, she always throws in fun little samples. So she sent a fun little soap sample of mango butter, coconut milk. And then some cute little, they always look like Munchkin donuts, but cute little soap balls. Soap rocks, I think she calls them maybe. No, she has soap rocks. I don't know what these are. Little balls of soap that look like donuts and you shouldn't eat them. Little samples. And then I also got, because I'm on a quest to find the natural deodorant of my soul, a sample size of her coconut mango butter deodorant cream. Has this adorable spoon that seems a shame to rub this cute little spoon in my armpits, but we gonna. And it's got all these instructions on how to properly utilize an adorable jar of armpit cream. So yeah, Tree Fort Naturals. Just want to tell you about her because she is marvelous. Crunchy, crunch, 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 crunch. There we go. Get you some. She's great. She ships. Ships fast. And all of her stuff is wonderful. She has wonderful gift sets and discounts for like multiple soaps, individual bars, and then she has some other like body products. And yeah, I love everything she does. And she's a lovely lady. So just wanted to share those with you in case you're in the market for some crunchy, delicious smelling soap. And pro tip, I always buy multiples and then I put the soaps that I'm not currently using in my dresser drawers. So all of my clothes smell like Jessica. It's a great way to freshen things up. Put them in my closet, put them in my drawers. Might be some in the yarn somewhere. Stash soap everywhere, guys. It's amazing. I guess that's how I'm ending a podcast. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sticking with me for 11 episodes. And hopefully next time I will have some more crochet design content. Stay tuned for the pattern drop video for this one. I hope you are all doing all the making or whatever brings you joy right now. Whatever you're doing, be grateful and keep at it. This is going to end. I hope, I pray. It has to, right? But until then, I will be designing my little booty off and loving yarn. Thank you for coming. If you like the video, give it a like. I never know how to phrase that. Subscribe. We're creeping towards 1K. Creeping there slowly. And I appreciate all of you for being here and being part of my crochet design and other making endeavor journey. Thank you guys. Happy making. Talk to you soon. Bye.